Inside of M-Series, effects are handled as an extension of the regular fixture parameters. So effects are handled on a per parameter basis, and effects are also recorded as parameters. This is really powerful because it allows you to separate out your effects, if you like, between different playbacks, having individual control over speed, size, waveform, and all of the other effects controls on the fly. This can be really powerful in a live lighting situation. I've got an effect running now, and I'm going to walk through the effects controls in this video, and then in the next few videos, I'm also going to show you how to create effects from scratch and how to use the pre-programmed effects and modify them to your liking. To first work with the effects controls, we want to select some lights. I've got these quantum profiles selected, and we want to bring up our encoder wheels so we can see what's going on. The first thing that you're going to need to do is to select the attribute you want to work with, and then click over to Effects. The window then tells you right here at the top that you're working with mode on intensity. That on intensity is key. That tells you the attribute of the effect that you're working with. Let's go over here to swing, the first encoder wheel. Swing is the amount that the effect is going to modify the parameter off of the baseline. Now the baseline is where you've defined the light to be at the start of the effect. This may be 0, this may be full, this may be anywhere in the middle, whether it's defined in the same queue as the effect or in a different queue or playback somewhere else in the console. Swing can be set all the way from 0, where there's no change at all the way up greater than 250%, where it runs off of the graph and has a little bit of a pause. We'll set swing to 100%. Speed is the rate at which the effect runs through the waveform. You can see that speed is expressed both as a percentage and as a BPM. So, a faster speed means a faster running effect, and naturally a slower speed means that the effect is going to run slower across all of your fixtures. In order to stop an effect, bring the speed to 0. And as long as you don't release your cue list, all of your other effects attributes will remain intact in the console. It's just the effect won't run because the speed's at 0. Mode is the shape of the curve that the effect is going to follow. Mode allows you, for example, to make a nice soft effect like we see here. As we scroll down, we can see we can make an effect that's additive, one that's purely subtractive. There's also some harder waveforms that are available. And as you scroll down through the many waveforms, you can experiment with them and find the ones that you really like to use. Multiplier allows you to speed up the effect, especially on intensity and color effects with LED units. You're able to make effects run really fast. Now, it's worth noting when using the speed and multiplier commands that you are able to create effects that run quicker than your fixtures may physically be able to run them. When that happens on your stage, you'll begin to see your fixtures reducing the size of the effect as they can't keep up with the high speed. For example, in a tilt effect, they're simply not able to swing the whole range at the speed that you have selected. On the Effects Timing tab, we're able to set an offset on the effect so that the fixtures don't all do the effect at the same exact time. The wave control allows us to spread out the wave across the fixtures that we're controlling. So we can see here the graph as how the effect is running, and we're going to spread that wave. We're going to spread the mode that the effect is running at across all of the fixtures by a certain number. The step control, on the other hand, allows fixtures to run the effect individually, and then the effect passes on to the next group of fixtures. We're able to break down our fixtures numerically by using the wave and step controls. Over here on the last encoder is the group masking. This is a really powerful way to separate out effects across our fixtures. We'll go into that more in the Creating Effects from Scratch video. When you're working with movement effects inside of M-Series, the controls are just a little bit different because by default, M series combines the pan and tilt parameters into one effects control. This makes it quick and easy to make movement effects across pan and tilt that are fluid and look really good. Let's click pan tilt and go over to our effects controls. We can now see that our swing controls for pan and tilt are separate here. We're able to just dial them both in manually. Then we can go ahead to our speed. The speed control affects pan and tilt at the same time. Last, we've got our figure column. Figure is very similar to the mode control within the other parameters, but it's across the 3D plane. So you've got both parameters in forms such as circles, ovals, and all kinds of abstract lines. If we go over to our second pane of the effects control by clicking on the effects button, we still are able to have mode, and there's a number of modes to work with there that we'll be exploring in a later video. There's also multiplier and the ability to rotate fixtures that are not hung in the same direction or that you want to perform the effect as if they were facing a different direction. The effects timing tab, however, for pan and tilt effects is exactly the same as it is with regular effects, and if you want to work with pan and tilt separately inside of your effects parameters, you can do that as well. Simply click the menu cog in the upper right hand corner. Under pan tilt combo, turn that off, and now you're able to control pan and tilt separately just like it was any other parameter.